Today's show is all about NewTek and NewTek TriCasters. We've got several things to talk about. We're going to talk about picking the right TriCaster. We're going to talk about a new technology that NewTek just released called NDI HX3, a new version of their HX NDI compression scheme, and a little bit more. But before, this is why it's live, folks. Sometimes you lose what you're talking about, you lose your pace. Today's show, we're really going to help you pick which TriCaster is right for you. Now, there's really two families of TriCasters. There's the Pro family, which is what we're going to talk about now, and then there's the Minis. We'll get to the Minis a little bit, but today's show is really focusing on the Pro, the rack-mounted products. So the first product we have in the product range is the TC1 at $14,995, and the TC1 came out several years ago. The TC1 is what we use to drive our show right now, and that's what Jim and Jen are operating the show right now on. And then a couple of years ago, they came out with a new product, the beast from the East, the TriCaster 2 Elite. The 2 Elite really was a great top-of-line product. First of all, they brought back more I/O, so it's got 8 SDI spigots, something long-time TriCaster TC8000 and fans were looking for. And they also introduced a new feature called Live Call Connect, which we'll get into a little later. But as you can see, from $14,995 to $29,995, that leaves a kind of big gap in the product line. So what'd they do? Bum, bum, the TriCaster 1 Pro. The TriCaster 1 Pro was introduced late last year. We had some shipping problems, so now they're readily available. And it really combines the best of both worlds. While it keeps the 2RU form factor and I/O of the TriCaster of the TC1, it also brings you live call and some other features that are in the TriCaster 2 Elite. So before we get into the whole review with these products, I just want to talk about what it is about the TriCaster that makes TriCasters so special. Now, if you look behind me, you should be seeing there it is, the TriCaster interface in all its wonderful glory with all the good stuff that's on there. And that's just a little eye candy for you to be distracted by. But the TriCaster is the industry standard, and it's really what I think those of you getting into live streaming should be aspiring to. It's a complete integrated solution, hardware and software, but it's more than just a simple computer. It's actually a dedicated hardware device optimized and pimped out to run the TriCaster software. The TriCaster software gives you multi-camera switching, gives you NDI IP inputs and outputs, gives you lower thirds, graphics, animation, social media integration. The TriCaster really is a complete top-of-the-line, fully integrated system. It can be intimidating. As you can see, there's a whole lot of buttons and a whole lot of things to learn how to use, but we're going to tell you about it a little later. There's plenty of training online and even courses you can take with NewTek. But I wanted to just take a moment to really give a big shout out and kudos to the folks at NewTek, because the TriCaster has been around for a while. And this series that we're going to go into this show, the TC1, the TC1 Pro, and the TC2 Elite, I think is the best TriCaster lineup that NewTek's ever come out with. It really is a good, better, best. It's got the right model for everyone and every solution. So we're going to jump into and go, what TriCaster is right for you? Well, there was a lot of information in the TriCaster on the NewTek website and in other places out there, but we wanted to put it all together in a very easy, concise way that everyone could understand. So if you see there's a picture of a chart here, don't worry that you can't see everything on that chart. Number one, we're going to break down the chart into these pieces you see here: input comparison, outputs, premium features, additional features, key feature summary, control surfaces. But also, this complete comparison chart we're going to have available for download as a PDF from our blog, and we'll tag it and link to it in our YouTube and Facebook as well. So I'm going to start the video. You can get a sip of water before we actually get into the comparisons. But the first thing we're going to start with is inputs. So as you can see, one of the big differentiators is I/O, inputs and outputs. Well, on the input side, the TriCaster TC1 and TC1 Pro each have 4 SDI inputs, whereas the TC2 Elite gives you 8. NDI, the TriCaster TC1 gives you 16 NDI inputs, the TC1 Pro the same 16, the 2 Elite 32. Maximum total inputs 16, 16, 32. So what that's saying is let's take the TC1 Pro in the middle there. You could have 16 NDI inputs, or you could have 12 NDI inputs and 4 SDI inputs, or 3 SDI inputs and 13 NDI inputs, maximum total 16. The next feature I want to talk about is Live Call Connect. Now, Live Call Connect is super cool. It's something that the folks over at NewTek introduced as a feature in the TC2 Elite. And why did they come about it? It came about because during this whole epidemic, things like Zoom and Teams and Skype really took off. And we wanted to, people were using these different video conferencing tools. But what NewTek said is the video conferencing is great, but we've all got Zoom fatigue. It's a real thing. Can't stand it anymore. I hate, if it's more than 4 people, my eyes glass over, seriously. But what's cool about what the TriCaster with Live Call Connect can do is it could actually bring in each of the people coming into your Zoom or Teams call as an individual input in the TriCaster, that those people can then be put into picture-in-pictures, multi-screens, any way you want to set up the screen. So I think the folks at NewTek did a really good 1-minute video. So let's roll that video. It's a great way to understand what Live Connect is all about.
Live Call Connect allows remote contributors to be brought in as individual sources. Those sources can then be used just like any other video source connected to a production switcher without having to worry about frame rates or resolutions. Remote guests can join your show using any device. Once they are connected, the TriCaster 2 Elite can take their video source and mix them into professional layouts with graphics, titles, and animations. In today's rapidly changing production environments, Live Call Connect gives content creators the tools to create their shows that are better than broadcast. Live Call Connect allows remote contributors to be brought in as individual sources. Those sources can then be used just like any other video.
All right, we're back. Don't worry about that, folks. I want to let you see the beginning of the video again. What can I tell you? It's live, and sometimes we hesitate a little bit. So Live Call Connect is a feature that's in the TriCaster 2 Elite, and it has 9 channels of Live Call Connect. The TC1 Pro that's now come out in the middle of the product line gives you 4 channels of Live Call Connect, and the TC1, well, that doesn't have Live Call Connect. And then another differentiating feature is DDR media players. The TC1 and the TC1 Pro each have 2. The TriCaster 2 Elite has 4. So you can see the TriCaster 2 Elite is really the beast. It is the top of everything. But the TC1 Pro, you can see it's really falling in to really have a nice middle level of tools and I/O and features for you. So let's go into the outputs where the story's more of the same. SDI video outputs, 4 on the TC1, 4 on the Pro, 8 on the Elite. HD, 4, 4, and 8. And then for UHD, the TC1 and the TC1 Pro can gang those 4 SDIs into a single UHD 4K output, but the TriCaster 2 Elite can give you 2 4K outputs via SDI, and then network video outputs is really cool, and that's where the TriCaster 2 Elite really takes off. The 1 and the 1 Pro give you 4H, the Elite gives you 48. So for those complex workflows, really the TriCaster 2 Elite really shines. Premium features. Now this is software that comes in the models that really differentiate them. So the TriCaster, Live Panel Builder is included in the TriCaster 1 Pro and the TriCaster 2 Elite. Live Panel Builder is a very cool tool that allows you to basically build shortcuts and macros that you can operate through an HTML interface where you can hand off a tablet or a laptop to a volunteer or someone who's new, and they can just run the show. You can actually have the show scripted out where they can go button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can label what the buttons are. Like one button can say preacher, another one could say choir, another one could say, close wide shot of audience, and it's really an easy way to let someone who's not able to be fully trained in a TriCaster, which is, yes, a complex live streaming tool, but lets you break it down and program it so even a volunteer can operate. It's a very cool feature. You get live graphics that's really fun, more sophisticated live animated graphics. Advanced macros are where you can really bury very complex commands. Now, the TC1 does macros, all TriCasters do, but the advanced macros, you can really nest macros inside macros. Alpha channel outputs is something that's very important to people whose workflows want alpha channel, but not everyone needs it. And Live Story Creator is a really cool feature that allows you to basically take a script for your live show and use the script to automate the cuts that are in the project itself, the show, while the show runs. So it's an automation tool. Now, if you'll notice, all these features I just named are in both the TC1 Pro and the TC2 Elite. They're not in the TC1. However, TC1 owners can upgrade to premium access for $199 a month and get all these features. So it's included in the 1 Pro and the Elite, but if you have a TC1, you can still get your hands on these features. You just got to pay a little bit more for them. Next are additional features. Now, these are features that we went through the whole guide and thought these are important features that we wanted to focus on differentiating the product. So, streaming encoders. TriCaster TC1 has 2, the Pro has 3, and so does the Elite. Why is that important? Because not only can you use multiple encoders to go to multiple CDNs, one to YouTube, one to Facebook as an example, but with the third one, you can also choose a different format or a different screen size. So you could actually, and you could do it with either one, but any of the encoders could be, let's say you want to do vertical video because you're streaming to really for people who are on the devices, their phones. So you could do a vertical version of your show as well as the real horizontal. You could do a 4K and HD. You could do a different format, different resolution, different frame rate. You name it, you get 3 different encoders. Mix effects and buses, well, that's what allows you to make the complex things that you see that we do with, if you look at this, we've got the screen behind me, we've got a virtual set. Each one of those is like a mix effect and a bus. You can get 4 levels deep on the TC1, the TC1 Pro, the TriCaster 2 Elite. The Big Kahuna, once again, gives you 8. PTZ control, this scales as well. The TC1 gives you 8, the Pro gives you 16, the Elite gives you 32. Now, obviously, not everyone's got a lot of PTZ cameras, but if you're in an event space or a large church where you really do want to have multiple cameras, well, that might be a reason why you want to go to the TC1 Pro because you have a whole lot of cameras that you want to operate. Multi-viewer outputs, 3 in each, 3 in the TC1, 3 in the Pro, a 4th one in the 2 Elite. I love that because multi-viewers allow you to see all the cameras and all your inputs, and sometimes you need more of that real estate to see more stuff. Recording channels, 8, 16, 32 recording channels. Those are the ISO streams. That's the ability to record all the inputs. Redundant power supply, the TC2 Elite, so redundant power supply. It's a more robust unit intended for broadcast. And then also, when you go to the RU, the form factor itself, the TC1 2RU, TC1 Pro 2RU, the TC2 Elite 3RU unit. All right, so let's review those key features. Bring that up full screen if we could. Video inputs, live call connect, video outputs, network outputs, SDI outputs, recording, live streaming, the price. This really lets you see the difference between all of them. Like I said, we'll be publishing all these comparison charts for you, but I just really wanted to get you the lay of the land of the difference of the products. You can call us at 800-323-2325. We'd be happy to talk to you about your workflow, what you need, what your budget is to get the right TriCaster for you, but also, forgot something, so I got to step back. I was about to miss my mark. Control surfaces. One of the cool things about operating a TriCaster is you can do it, as you remember when you were looking over my shoulder, at this shot, we had all the different TriCaster buttons going on the whole, I'm getting a little ahead of Jem. There it is. So on the TriCaster interface, you can operate the TriCaster with a mouse and a keyboard. You don't need a control surface. Everything that you see is in front of you that can be handled from the screen or even a touchscreen. However, I think the really best way to operate a TriCaster is with a control surface, your mouse, and your keyboard. Why are these control surfaces so cool? Because the control surfaces really let you automate and get your workflow going a little bit better. Everything's a click away as opposed to multiple clicks and drilling down to mix and to do your effects and stuff like that. What control surface is right for you? Really depends on your budget, your workflow, and your workspace. A lot of churches don't have a big area where they let you set up for your production crew. So a TC1 SP, the small control surface, the USB control surface may be just perfect for you for what you get in your space. If you have more space and the budget for it, you can get the 2-stripe or the 4-stripe. Those connect via network connections to your TriCaster. So the cool thing about that is you could have the TriCaster in another room or a closet off to the side, but be operating your TriCaster, downstream in a different area. But whichever control surface fits your needs is the right one. The mini control surface can also work with one of these full TriCasters, but really, I'm telling you, I think you really got to, you'll get the SP at the least. And really, the 2-stripe is the sweet spot. The 4-stripe is a very big board. It's powerful. It's got every bell and whistle you can want on it, but it can't fit on a desktop. You need a dedicated space to build that in, to put that in. Okay, so where was I going before I got myself out of order? Was to talk about that not everyone can buy a TriCaster online from a company like Video Guys and set it up and get it going yourself. And we know that. So we can help you find a local dealer in your area. Still give us a call and say, hey, you know, that sounds like really cool. You know, the TC1 Pro sounds like it's the right product for me, but do you have a local reseller who can come in and give me a demonstration, set it up for me, hook it up with all my cameras, help me get the setup, train me on it, make sure it's working right, and also have that local guy there that if something goes wrong, can help you reset it up and get it back. Well, we understand a lot of people want that service and that level of support. So if that's you, still give us a call and we'll get you to the closest local dealer who can get you what you need. And that's one of the things we do with the NewTek TriCasters, these TriCasters TC1, TC1 Pro, TC2 Elite. They are complex, powerful machines that not everyone can set up and install themselves. However, if you're looking for something easier and simpler and you want to get involved in the TriCaster line, the TC Mini 4K is something you can absolutely set up and run yourself if you're a school or a government agency or a smaller church. It's a lighter weight, smaller TriCaster. We've done shows on it. It's 4K, just like the big boys, a little bit less I/O and inputs and outputs. It also is all NDI, so the actual TC 4K doesn't have any HDMI or SDI inputs on it to even show you the I/O. It's all NDI, but it does come with 2 sparks, which will let you convert HDMI into NDI to bring into the unit. Plus, it'll see all NDI PTZ cameras that you throw on your system. We've done a lot of shows on the TriCaster Mini. That's not what this show is about, but I did want to make sure people know that it's still available for $89.95 or bundled with the control surface and a cool carrying case for $10,995. So the TC Mini rounding out the TriCaster product lineup. Now we're going to break from the TriCaster part of the show to the NDI part of the show. Now, what is NDI and NDI HX? It gets a little confusing. When we say NDI, we mean full NDI. That requires higher bandwidth, lower latency, but it is higher frame rates and resolutions and less compression, lossless video. NDI HX, lower bandwidth required, more compressed. With that compression comes latency, slightly lower resolution. You can get more devices on on your network, but also when your HX is compressed, so you need a computer, your TriCaster, wherever you're running your switching on, has to be a little bit beefier to handle the multiple channels of NDI. So what did NewTek do? NDI HX has now evolved to NDI HX3. What makes that so special? It's really the best of both worlds. You're going to get visually lossless video. It's half the data rate of NDI HX2. Latency as low as full NDI. And what does that mean? That basically means that with NDI HX, you used to be limited to 3 cameras that you could get on a single gig network. Now you can get 6 streams, 6 cameras going with NDI HX3 with low enough latency that you could actually have IMAG in a church or a venue. And IMAG is when you have the bigger screens around the venue. And latency is a problem because if I'm talking and I wave my arm and the people live see me wave my arm, but on the screen it happens, a half second later, that throws people off. Well, the latency is so low with HX3 that you can actually run IMAG, which is so exciting. Now, what is HX3 and how do you get it? Well, right now there's only one way to get it, and that's with this camera you see right here, the PTZ3 camera from NewTek, which is now in stock and available for $27.95. It's a 20x optical zoom. It's going to give you NDI HX, 3G SDI, and HDMI. It's a great little camera. I really love it. Good quality, looks great, and I say sounds great because it's actually got an XLR mic jack, which is really cool as a feature for you. And you can put a bunch of these in your room if you want to. Now, will other cameras be upgradable to NDI HX3? The answer is yes, maybe, no. And what do I mean by that is, first of all, you have to have a pretty recent kind of beefy chip inside your PTZ camera to be able to do that. Now, if you've got a camera that was made in the last year or so, shouldn't be a problem. Older cameras might be. But also it's going to mean your camera vendor, be it PTZ Optics or Panasonic or someone else, has to actually pay for and design for the NDI HX3 license, which I do think our vendors will be doing. But what I'm not sure about, will they be doing it with new models And will they make it available to older models? We're just gonna have to wait and see where that is, but we're very excited about HX3 because it's really giving you the best of both worlds, and it's really where full NDI and NDI HX collide. So good job, NewTek, on that, and we hope to see more and more NDI HX3 products over the course of this year, especially at NAB in April. Hopefully we'll see some introductions. Okay, earlier in the show, I talked about that the NewTek TriCaster is a complex piece of machinery and a very sophisticated switcher. Well, it is. Fortunately, there's some great places for you to get training on it. Now, you can go on YouTube, and there's videos that are basic videos, as does NewTek on their website. But if you really want to learn how to use this puppy and get the most out of it, you want to go to NewTek University and get yourself some TriCaster training. We've got training on the TriCaster. We've got NDI Performance and Media. We've got NewTek Infrastructure products. Those are the different products that you connect together via NDI. We've got 3-play operation, production automation, production graphics. Really great thing that you can learn how to use a TriCaster. But even more than just the basic learning, NewTek University has the ability for you to take tests and become a certified NewTek operator. Why do I bring that up on this show? Because if you're a young person who's in college or a production company and you think that being a creative is something you want to get into, storytelling, well, you can learn how to edit, Media Composer, Final Cut, Premiere Pro, fine. But one of the things you can also learn how to do is how to be a NewTek certified producer. And by taking these classes and getting these certifications, you can actually offer yourself out to rent for people who have TriCasters. Maybe the operator isn't available, or maybe you even want to set up your own production company of which you do TriCasters to do events or in a venue that you're looking to do. So I think it's something that people who are younger people who are looking to be in the video production, video storytelling space should really look at going into Video University and getting certified. I think it's something that's a marketable skill that if you put on your resume, can help you land jobs. And I know our team is NewTek certified and getting more certifications every month or so. I think it's really cool, and I recommend it highly for all young people or old people who are interested in learning more and becoming better at live production and switching. One of the things I mentioned in the pre-show was NDI November. What's NDI November? NDI November is an annual event that we sponsor and we created to educate the industry on all things NDI. The last 2 years we had Dr. Cross. Sorry about that. Hey, we're live, folks. Sometimes your throat goes. We had Dr. Cross, the inventor of NDI and the ex-president of NewTek, discussing the products, the features, what the future of the industry was. You can go to our YouTube page, which I think was just up there. I'm sorry, our YouTube page. You can subscribe to it, and you can go look at our NDI November playlist. And over there, which you see on here, you can see all the interviews we did, all the product demos we did, all the product spotlights we did. And we just want to mention that come next November, we'll be doing NDI November again. And we expect to have even more guests, more new products, more things. It's a great place to go to learn all about NDI. That's the IP-based networking solution that allows you to take video and the command controls over gigabit Ethernet. So we run our show. This laptops that's running PowerPoint is coming into the TriCaster via NDI. Our PTZ cameras are coming in via NDI. It's a evolution of video production. We've done a lot of shows on NDI. I don't want to get caught in the weeds on it. I already talked too much about it, but if you want to learn more about NDI, great place to check it out is our NDI November. And you can also find NDI November information with hashtag NDI November on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, etc. So that was our show. Went a little longer than I planned on. I'm sorry, it was a lot of exciting information. Our NewTek update, choosing the right TriCaster, NDI HX3, and more. I hope you learned a little bit more about NewTek. I hope you learned about which TriCaster is right for you. I want to remind you again, if you're looking for a TriCaster and you need more information, you need local help from a local dealer. We have local dealers throughout the country who can help you learn about the products and help you install it, train you, get you up and going. Give us a call at 800-323-2325, or go to www.videoguys.com, and we'll be happy to hook you up with a dealer who can help you learn all about that. I want to say this is Gary from Video Guys. Like us and love us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Twitter. Definitely check out our blog on the videoguys.com website. This is Gary from Video Guys. See you next week. Peace.
Thank you for watching this week's Video Guys live webinar. We go live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to our Facebook and YouTube pages with the latest news on live streaming, video editing, and video storage technology.
Join us next week for a great webinar on the Atomos XCast and NinjaCast. And after that, we also have a great webinar coming up on MRMC Polymotion Chat Pro auto tracking software.
Video Guys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.